Welcome everyone to the Inkperator. Today we will be discussing a unique phenomenon that's often reserved for left-handed writers. And as a left-handed writer, I would like to bring this up. This often happens when you're writing with a stub or italic nib. For the remainder of this whole video, I'll be doing it in print because it easier shows off the line variation. So when you are writing in underhand writing, like this, underhand writing, it's not, you don't often see much of a, you don't really see anything, so it's constantly, it's normally how a stub nib should behave. Unlike this is not how a stub nib should behave at all. Okay, and obviously when you are doing it with your right hand as well, it's the same thing as well. I'm not really comfortable at this come angle, and again the stub is not behaving. Oh yeah, it's a shimmering one. It's not behaving properly at all. Okay, I've just mixed it up a bunch, and it should start working now. Well, there's my attempt at round hand. I have not been practicing that at all, but again, it's still what it's like. Still like that. Heavy downstroke. Well, yeah, wide downstrokes and light horizontal strokes. But when it comes towards left-handedness and a bit to right-handed people as well, but mainly to left-handed, given the fact that that is a common issue with left-handed handwriting. Left-handed people would often write sidewards like this or overhand, and when writing in overhand, well, unfortunately writing with overhand right now isn't working that well. We get something that looks drastically different, and that's because in this position it's not responding that well. Oh, here we go. We get the exact opposite of regular underhand writing. This mimics stub writing, which this mimics the architect grind, which is the completely reverse of stubs, and it's a very interesting phenomenon. To many, this architect grind is probably an undesirable effect, especially with such a large stub nib like this. This is a 1.1 millimeter, and no one wants to have something like look at this T. That can become very obtrusive and would not really benefit handwriting. For example, if I was to write better in overhand position, just the larger strokes on the TSO can take quite a lot away, and given how both handwriting and calligraphy tell you to put all of your weight on downstrokes and having no weight on either of them, it often doesn't look that nice. Then again though, people do prefer this as the architect nib grind does exist. And that's pretty much what I wanted to bring up. If you can somewhat mimic an architect grind with overhand writing. Now, when we look at right-handed writing, this can also happen as well. I don't often see people write like this, but you obviously cannot get the and like you cannot get that hook effect as well as you can with left-handed, because you end up writing in backhand. Oh, my hair just came into view. And when you start writing in backhand, your slant goes that way, and that's not all too nice, because if I just show you right now, backhand doesn't really, it's difficult to make backhand look nice. It's not compatible with cursive, which is a rather shame. But regardless, right-handed people can still get that effect as well. It's just more common to left-handed people, as right-handed people you naturally go for underline, naturally right underline. And that's pretty much all I wanted to bring up, is how that works. Now, you might be asking, is this a good way to test architect grinds? Because I have talked a lot of trash about it, so, and as a person who's never owned an architect nib, I'd probably think I wouldn't want one. But there's another thing towards it, is if you are not natively writing in overhand, or are not comfortable writing with it as so, then you're not gonna have a good time with writing like that. As an overhand with the architect nib, you are writing like that in the most comfortable writing position possible. If I wanted to have the exact effects, I would have to move my hand at a very uncomfortable angle, and like that, so with an uncomfortable angle, my writing is prohibited. So that's pretty much all this video has to offer. It's just wanted to get some more left-handed perspective on one of the most desired nib grinds in the fountain pen community. So that has been the Imperator, and thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day, my dudes.